Everybody, Jason MX Fever. I'm super excited about this video because this will be the first video in my new shop. Still a lot to do to get set up. Need to insulate because we're going to heat it this winter. I'm running off an extension cord, but I'm in here and this will be the first video. Now the video will be covering this right here. It is a carb that I got off of a machine that I actually got from a junkyard for $40. It's this machine right here. It's I think, I don't see the year right off top of my head, but I think it's an 84, 85, 200 SX. I know it's an SX because of suspension front and rear, the way that the A-arms are. Anyways, I'm going to be putting it on this machine because you can see the red there. That is a Chinese garbage carb. It's hard to start when it's cold, and it's got a big flat spot mid-range. And this carb that was on the junkyard machine is an original Keihin from Japan. So I'm going to try to save this. Haven't even opened it up yet. All I've done is take the cap off, look in there, it's missing the needle, and the slide is stuck. That's not a big deal, it's usually just gummed up fuel. So we're going to go through and clean this carb up, see if we can get to work on mean green. But the good news is that this 200S carb, or SX carb, is the same carb you'll find on 200 Big Red. Two TRX200s. Let's see. ATC 200S 3-wheelers. Well, there's a host of options that this can be used on, and the machine is actually going on as a 185, but I'm not that worried about the small displacement difference. So this will be the first video in the new place. Let me get my camera set up, see if we can save. I don't have any blinds up on my windows yet, but all I did was spray the carb off with brake clean. I haven't opened it up at all, just to get some of the grime off of it. A couple things I noticed. Said the slide is stuck, and the choke, or the enricher plate, was on a choke cable where you pull. The machine is going on. It needs to hold itself. So let's see, where would it be? Right, seeing that little gap right there, there should be a detent plate. So you can see the little detent that's punched in there. That would hold that in place. Luckily, I've got some parts carbs that I can get that detent plate off of, and this will hold itself. But let's take the bowl off. Let's see what we have. Another machine I thought this could be used on is a 200X. So this could be used on a variety of machines, and if this actually turns out to be a good one from a junkyard machine that I paid $40 for, definitely can't complain. And it really doesn't look like anybody's ever been into this thing, because usually these are all rounded off. So that's good. And they're surprisingly not super tight. Fingers. Oh, that's better shape than I thought it was going to be, that's for sure. It's a little bit of crud in the bottom of it. It's not real bad. I'm not even going to smell that because I already know what that's going to smell like. Okay. So a couple things. Point out right off the bat. Your idle adjustment screw is this one. It has a spot right here for a fuel mixture screw, but it doesn't go all the way through. Normally you would see a hole in here for your fuel mixture screw. The mixture screw is here. So again, on other videos we covered this, but center line of your carb, this side towards the engine, this would be your fuel mixture screw. Center carb towards the air box, this is your air mixture screw. So the more turns you turn this in, the less air it gets, the richer it gets. So we're going to take that out because I'm going to clean it anyways. Pretty sure this has never been messed with either, because that's pretty gross. Like I said, the O-ring's still there, so that's good. Needle's not broke off. A lot of times people will crank this down so that the end of the needle breaks off and it gets stuck in the opening of the carb. The camera will show. If you look down in here, you can see that it takes air in from this air bleed right here. So it goes in, gets ratioed or controlled through the mixture screw into the main jet and the pilot jet or idle jet. All right, let's take. I guarantee the pilot's going to be plugged shut. This thing's coming apart really nice, actually. Yeah, look at the crap on the end of that. So we'll clean this up. I'm almost betting we can save this. And I can actually see, doubt the camera will show, but you can see a little bit of daylight through there. So it's not completely plugged up. This mixed screwdriver may not get this. Got it, but it all stayed together. Not a big deal. This is your emulsion tube where the fuel and the air mix with those little dots into a spray or mist that comes out, controlled by the needle on the slide and the opening in the main jet. The main jet is plugged completely shut. Not a big deal. I may need to get a pick for this. Just slide the float pin out. Do a quick check of the float needle. That's an interesting little bend there. So maybe somebody has been into this. That shouldn't be, see if this camera will show, but that shouldn't be bent like that. I got more of these too. But the float looks to be in good shape. The seat needs to be in good shape. So let me get some stuff. We're going to spray some chemicals through here and open her up. Get in other videos, I don't believe in carb cleaners, too oily and crappy. Brake clean for everything. So I'll double check, make sure that the float needle opening is fine. So it will come in here from your fuel tank. Comes out nice. Comes through your float needle. The float measures the fuel level in the bowl. Let's see, idle jet. You can see it coming out the little hole just underneath the slide right there. We'll spray some of this in the slide, see if it'll free up. Basically just spray all the passages. What I like to do with the idle jets is just hold my finger over what's basically the emulsion tube on the main jet. Is the same on the pilot or idle. Starting to get something through it. Same thing the other direction. All right, look, we got a nice spray there. So that's opened up. Hold up to the light, get a good look through. Yep, that's clean now. Wipe off the emulsion tube and spray through the main. That's already, oh look at that, that came out of it. So that's opened up. Take a paper towel and wipe these down. Get any residual stuff off of them. This is really surprisingly clean. I'm really happy about this. Measure screw. I don't have a new O-ring for this, but this isn't in that bad of shape, honestly. If you look real close, there's no cracks or anything. Oh, there might be one or two. Oh, we'll see. Main jet one more time. Or pilot jet, I'm sorry. Wipe it down. Now the bowl has to yuck. So here's the before. Oh, be careful not to get stuff in your eye that hurts. There's an after. So this little tube right here, when you see gas, when you turn gas on and gas is just pouring out of this little fitting, this is the overflow tube. So when the float's stuck and it allows gas to keep coming in, it will dump it out this hole instead of going into the intake and flooding the engine. So it is working as designed if you have gas coming out here for a failed or stuck float needle. Another thing I'm pretty pumped about, sometimes this, actually not sometimes, a lot of times this spring will be broke for the choke plate and it won't return, so that's good too. Now, looking this over before I started the video, you can see how dirty the intake side of this carb is from the airbox. In fact, there's a mud dauber nest right there. The engine was in that machine, and this right here tells me that that engine definitely needs piston and range because it was being run without an air filter for quite some time. But I just got it on the shelf for another project. Oh, that's not a mud dauber nest, it's just a brass plug. So forget I said that, but this is the air bleed for, see if I put this in, it'll come out the main and pilot jet holes on the bottom. So that's open. Get all this crap out of here. It doesn't, I'm going to be pretty pumped about this actually. Clean off the float. Alright, I'm going to go find some parts and we're going to fix the choke. So when you guys do this long enough, you'll get a pile of parts like this. This is exactly what I was talking about the choke plate. This is a Keihin Carb, genuine Japanese, but the springs broke on the choke plate. So this carb's no good, and I've tried to replace that spring, and if you can do it, good luck. I have not had any luck with it at all. But, let's see, I saw one here. Let's see, this is a Chinese carb, and it has, you can hear it, the detents. This spring's broke too. But I'm going to use this lever on this carb. Make sure I can before I say that. Yeah. To make this work with my 185. Let's get this one off. So this will eliminate the bracket that holds the cable and the lever. Oh, jeez, that's a mess. Hey, hang on, just get this out of here. I'm going to be, once I'm all set up here, make my own vapor hone. I've been talking to a lot of people about making one. And that'll help big time with cleaning these up to make them look good as new again. I'll take this one off the Chinese donor and place it on our Keihin. Plate. That's not quite tight enough. I need to bend this over a little bit more. Or, looks like it needs that washer that's right here. Let's put that on. Chinese carbs are cheap on eBay and Amazon, but they're cheap for a reason. No replacement for original. So if you're one of those guys that say your machine has a new carb on it and you've been around the block as long as this old man has, you know that you're better off cleaning the old one. But now you can see our choke plate opens and stays. Last thing to do is get the slide out, and there it goes. So it was just plugged up with some gum in there. They say usually soaking it in brake clean will get it out. It's missing the needle. And one of these carbs I labeled 185. That one. See, it slides into this one. Oops. I'm actually going to use the cap to do a comparison on the slides. They're the same. There's a number written on the bottom and they're different. So all your carb pieces will have numbers on them. And I'm blind. What I normally do is take a picture of this and zoom in on it. If there's a number there in your main jet, there's one there, that's 35, that's common for your pilot or idle. So I think I'm just going to change the whole slide. Just same height and everything. I'll just use this slide. Throw that in there, make sure it goes all the way down. Put it in the right way would help. Yep, it moves freely. This hangs up any way, shape, or form. Do not use it. If you want to see reasons why, look at my video of my dirt bike accident. I'll explain everything why you don't mess around with sticky throttles. Let's see. Last thing, cap. What did I do with that? Just had it. So the cap that originally came on this had an integrated cable. Forgive me, I'm a little ways away from getting organized, but the integrated cable, the cable won't come out of the cap. There's a lot of machines like this, and when you get a throttle cable for a machine like so, make sure you order one that comes with the integrated cap, and don't try to rig this because it never works safely. But I'm going to use the cap off of the 185. The cable just sits down in there, and then the rubber holds it on. So let's whip this thing back together, and we'll go put it on the mean green. Oh, full needle, I forgot about that too. I just actually bent it back with some pliers, that's fine. We're just going to try this one. If it sticks, then I'll replace it, but luckily the 185, it's super easy to get this in and out of. Put the pin back in. Hold it up to ensure that the needle goes up and down and stops where it should. It should stop with the float flat, which is exactly where it stops. Put in our main jet and emulsion tube. Idle or pilot. And our mixture screw. The O-ring's starting to tear. So let me just go see if I can find another adjuster screw or an O-ring for that. The same thing, if you've been around long enough, you keep a thing of this of carb parts. And if you recognize that name, you can tell how old I am. But this is the O-ring that came out. Here's a new one that I'm going to put on it. You may need to put a little that so it'll slide right in there. It's going to be tight, but it'll work. Add just a little bit of engine oil. That slides right in there. Usually factory settings, or this is what I set them to anyways, and then go from there. That is 1.5 turns out. 1.5, 1.5. Now if it's slow coming back to idle, it's too lean, so you want to turn this in. We'll see how it goes in the machine, but that's 1.5 is usually typically where I start. That notch depends on where it falls with this bowl. So you can see there it goes, slides right in that. Screws back in. Slide in, and I'm going to use the original spring that was with it here. Let's go put it on the machine. Spread it out one more time. Now, I did not record getting to the carb on this because this machine is kind of a rat rod, if you will. So, in the process of getting to the carb is not applicable to a lot of your machines. It's a number on that. It's the same number. I'm just going to reuse this slide and call it a day. Yeah, there's another Chinese wonder, FOF. Somebody painted it like this on something that another machine I got. That fuel line's kind of tore up, so I'm going to put a new one on. Doing young lady. She stuck her head on this clip. She's a thief of the family. And, I'm working on stuff. She'll take whatever I'm working on and take pieces of it out in the front yard and chew on it. So I gotta watch her. Slide back in. That slant goes towards your idle screw, your idle adjustment screw, which is right there. So that's an easy way to get them in there and get them lined up right. Make sure that the throttle works and returns as it should before you go any farther. So I'm going to get this rest. This is a moment of truth. We're ready to turn the gas on. We're going to turn the choke on. There's proof. It has not been run at all. choke. We're getting there. Great. Yes! Well, there you have it. $40 carb lives on. I love this machine. Probably put 800 miles on this thing on Michigan trails. That's an absolute beast. I love it. But 40 bucks. The whole quad was worth, or the carb alone was worth more than that. So if you find this video helpful, informative, or just plain interesting, give me a like and a subscribe. More to come on the new shop here.